Donald Trump is crashing out this morning as Iran is directly threatening him. Iran is saying to Donald Trump, if you try to take over the Karg Island, we are going to retaliate and we will shut down the Red Sea. The same way we shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Get ready, we will do the same exact thing in the Red Sea. A statement was put out over Iran's semi-official news network called the Tasmin News. An Iranian official said that safe passage through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea would be quickly shut down if these marine expeditionary units that Donald Trump is sending to the Middle East go to the Karg Island or try to enter the Strait of Hormuz. It should be noted that in the Red Sea, that's where the Houthis previously were able to shut down a lot of the traffic of cargo ships and fuel ships. Previously, the Houthis have not yet been activated in this war, and Iran is saying we are prepared to escalate right now and activate the Houthis. So what's Donald Trump doing this morning as he's crashing out? Well, Donald Trump is now threatening to have ICE do airport security. That's right. This is Donald Trump's focus this morning. Donald Trump posted the following. If the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country with a heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports. Make America great again, folks. We have a demented lunatic right now in the Oval Office, although he's actually vacationing in Mar-a-Lago on the taxpayer dime as war rages in the Middle East caused by Donald Trump's unlawful invasion of Iran, as Donald Trump has destroyed the United States economy, has destroyed generationally the economies of many Arab nations, and as Iran and Russia are the main beneficiaries of this, as well as China, Donald Trump is talking about invading airports with ICE right now and putting out this completely deranged and incoherent statement about Democrats not letting airports be free and safe again. Do y'all remember when Donald Trump posted this all of the time, but like when he posted on August 5th, 2024, stock markets are crashing, job numbers are terrible, we are heading to World War III, and we have two of the most incompetent leaders in history. This is not good. It was always projection and confession with these MAGAs. It's precisely what is actually happening right now in the United States. You all know that this past week, the markets were absolutely crashing. You know that gold, which is usually a safe haven during these times, gold was crashing. You have Donald Trump's brilliant decision, and I'm being sarcastic, of course, is let's remove oil sanctions on Iran. Let's remove oil sanctions on Russia. As Danny Citronix, who does a good job reporting on this region, as he explained and told NBC News and others, so now Donald Trump, the U.S., is funding a war against itself. What we are seeing is a really flawed campaign, not in terms of just operational size, but from the strategic preparation for the campaign itself. The oil price is becoming much more important than eliminating this regime in Iran. Everybody knows that as long as Iran is controlling the straits, nothing will change in terms of the ability to take out the oil. You cannot beat geography. And also, though, Iran realizes it can beat weakness. And it sees in Donald Trump someone who doesn't plan things, someone who doesn't think things through, somebody who reacts very emotionally, someone who potentially has dementia, my opinion, I'm giving my First Amendment speech opinion, someone who is completely deranged. And just, look what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. You literally have Iran establishing a lucrative business right now, not just in terms of Trump removing the oil sanctions there, but a business in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is planning to enshrine a new status, Max Boot writes, for the Strait of Hormuz to require every passing ship to pay fees to Tehran for the privilege. Expediency Council member Mohammed Makhbar, an advisor to the Supreme Leader in Economic Affairs, told the Mehr news agency, "We're setting up a business now. We have such control over the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to make people pay the money, and we're going to basically create the biggest toll in the world." And countries are negotiating now on a bilateral basis to do just that. The Iranian Navy, for example, guiding an Indian tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian Navy guided an Indian liquefied petroleum gas tanker through the Strait of Hormuz after a diplomatic engagement with New Delhi, allowing the ship to pass on a pre-approved route. And look, you have Prime Minister Modi of India saying, "I spoke with President Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian," that's the Iranian president. "I wished him greetings. We condemn the attacks on critical infrastructure in the region, which threaten regional stability and disrupt global supply chain. We reiterated the importance of safeguarding freedom of navigation and ensuring that shipping lanes remain open and scarce." So if there was some desire to alienate and isolate Iran, quite the contrary is happening. Trump is alienating and isolating the United States even more than when Donald Trump did tariffs against the world. And Donald Trump is promoting Iran right now. Take a look at this update as well. This from the Japan Wire, the Kyoto News. Iran ready to help passage of Japan ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Minister Araghchi says. So Iran's foreign minister says, "Hey, Iran." Iran's foreign minister says, "Hey, Japan, we saw that really embarrassing Prime Minister Takaishi Oval Office state visit where she shamed the Japanese people, where she wouldn't stand up to Donald Trump when he was making Pearl Harbor jokes, where she was laughing at the auto pen photos that Donald Trump did because Donald Trump behaves worse than some of the worst behaved 5-year-olds out there. And no offense to badly behaving 5-year-olds. Seriously, the Japanese people right now are livid. I'm going to do a whole video on this. They are livid at Prime Minister Takaishi bringing such shame to the people after that disastrous visit with Donald Trump. But what did they get out of it? What happened out of it other than Donald Trump mocking the Japanese people? So Iran saw that, and Iran says, look, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said Tehran is ready to facilitate the passage of Japanese vessels through the Strait of Hormuz, and that negotiations with Japan on the issues are ongoing. Just saying it right there. And just think about it this way. This is how FedWatch describes it. If India's tanker passage program is successful, other countries may follow India's example. India, then Japan, then who else? The only way crude price volatility cools off is if there is a decisive winner in this war, which is increasingly looking like Iran will be the winner of this war. And that's what we're seeing now. Oh, by the way, I mentioned Japan for a moment. So the Trump regime has been posting these photos of Prime Minister Takaishi and like making her look like, well, let's just say not the most flattering photos. This is the White House photo of it. Takaishi delivers remarks in the state dining room. This is the photo they chose to use. And here are the other photos. As this one account says, the White House photographer has got to be doing it on purpose. They wanted to put the Japanese through a humiliation ritual. That's what was going on there. Oh, and folks, while all of this is going on, guess what the MAGA Republicans are doing? They're actually seeing that there's an emergency today. Wow, right? They're actually working over the weekend, folks. Can you believe this? So the MAGA Republican senators have declared that there are emergencies taking place that need to be dealt with right now. Okay, what's the emergency that you are all at the Senate now? Is it to make sure that Donald Trump gets authorization if he wants to have an unlawful war and that you will block him from doing this unlawful war? Is that your plan right here? Are you there to block Donald Trump's tariffs against the world or Donald Trump's other authoritarian tactics to stop this unlawful and disgusting war? Is that why emergency on Capitol Hill, right? Oh, no, that's not why you're there. You're there to talk about trans sports issues. That's what they're doing today, because Donald Trump thinks that the American people are so dumb that he wants to create a culture war issue and talk about, oh, men and women's sports, so he can mock the trans community, so he can mock marginalized communities to try to divide us while he covers up a child sex trafficking ring, the Epstein files, and while he's engaged in this unlawful war. I kid you not, this happened moments ago when the MAGA Republican senators declared that there was an emergency. They had to discuss this. Here, play this clip.
The issue with respect to biological males competing in women's sports and transgender surgeries for minors, those are also issues that are overwhelmingly supported by the American people, and issues on which there is legislation up here, broad support among certainly our caucus on both of those issues.
And then you had Sean Duffy from the Real World Road Rules Challenge, who's Donald Trump's transportation secretary. He went on Fox this morning, and here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
At what point, what makes you think that the masks is where the negotiation ends?
And so the point is, do they really want a deal?
Right.
I mean, that's what we're asking. And I think the point is, their base is so angry at Trump, they have Trump derangement syndrome, that no matter what the proposal is, they want to make sure that the people, the 15 million people that were let in, even the bad hombres, they want to leave them here. Don't deport them. They want them part of their communities. If they commit crimes, they want to let them out onto the streets to commit more crimes against the American people. I mean, that's a radical position, or at least the base has that position. And Democrats in Congress are forced to hold that line, which, again, is anti-American and anti-common sense.
And folks, Saudi Arabia is saying over the past 24 hours, there have been 80 drone strikes in Saudi Arabia, or attempted drone strikes in Saudi Arabia. So Iran doesn't show any time or any sense of slowing down soon. Should also be noted as well, Qatar's CEO interview in the past 24, 48 hours with Reuters was basically described as, what's just taken place over the past 20 plus days has set us back about 20 years. He warned that, he said, we've been trying to warn the U.S. Energy Secretary and everybody daily that what's happening now with Qatari Energy, with the other facilities across the Middle East, was going to happen, that everybody ignored him, that nobody in the U.S. gave warnings about any of this. And, and now Qatar and all these Arab nations that thought they were doing pay for play with Donald Trump. Well, you did do pay for play. You all got played, because Donald Trump is a con artist who has conned people his entire life. And then when his back's against the rope, he shows what a sociopath he is. He does the threats. Oh, I'm going to invade your airports with ICE, or I'm going to come after you, or please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. He's been a pathetic freaking loser his entire life, who's bankrupted everything he's touched because he's a loser, and he surrounds himself with losers. That's why he bankrupted things. It's not even about politics. This guy is a freaking loser. Get it through your heads. And you want to know one of the big loser qualities that's happening right now that's not getting enough attention at all? And this is why it's a loser quality. You know, there's a massive disaster taking place in Hawaii right now. And where's FEMA? Where's Donald Trump talking about that? Where are the Republicans talking about that? Hawaii is experiencing its worst flooding in 20 years right now, okay? And do you even know that's happening? Okay, it's devastating there. This would be normally, rather than engaging in these ridiculous wars against the world that Donald Trump wants to do, trade wars and all things, we'd be helping America right now. Not Donald Trump, not this despicable regime. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. So hit subscribe right now. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.